Hello, welcome to the final word. Everton 3, Spurs 2. We've beaten Tottenham in the Premier League at Goodison for the first time since David Moyes was the manager last time. There you go, 2012. But Everton have won a thriller, and it was a thriller, in a excellent performance. I think 70 minutes Everton were really good, and then Spurs were the better side in the last 20 odd as the Toffees tired. But Ped, huge win. Really, obviously, David Moyes took over last week and we had Villa at home, Spurs at home, 2 tough fixtures. We lost against Villa, although I thought we both did, didn't we, that there was some signs of improvement that night, even though Everton lost. And that improvement got better and better, obviously, yesterday. We know Tottenham were depleted at the back, but you've still got to go out and beat these teams, and Everton haven't done that very often this season, so great result.
Yeah, it was nice to take advantage of a team struggling. Don't always do it when there's a chance, or you see other teams going, have they managed to get a result there? And for once, we've done it. And as you said, Wednesday night there was little signs. Manager said he'd only had a couple of days with those players as well, so a couple of changes, freshened it up a little bit. Players looked like they were on it from the start, pressed high again, and all those little ingredients which can get you off your seat. Not that I ever sit down. Can get you off your seat at Goodison Park and get that atmosphere going. And yeah, and there was an intensity, and there was a little bit of something, wasn't it? Passion and yeah, it all worked out brilliantly for us. It was nervy, don't get me wrong, it was nervy at the end, a lot nervy than it should have been, but on another day, a little bit further down the line, we end up winning that 4-5-0 without a problem. Yeah,
I think that, the 1878 had done a display. I thought that was really good in the park, and all the flags, there's some great flags in banners in the Gladys Street as well, and people, when you got in, it just felt there was a positive, like there was a positivity there, and the players sort of fed off that. And I think the other thing as well, I know speaking to some people since the Villa game, before this game, were like a bit deflated when they saw the team against Villa, where I don't think people were when they saw the team yesterday, because O'Brien was in it and Lindstrom was back in and all that. What did you make of the side going into it?
Well, I think everyone probably thought it was 3 at the back, so therefore felt like we were going to have full-backs or wing-backs playing higher up the pitch and getting players round Dom. And I think when you've been doing something for so long and it hasn't really worked, it takes a lot to just change an attitude rather than any players. So there was that feeling of, okay, let's see what we do today. And yeah, it didn't turn out to be 3 at the back. It turned out to be a little bit more of a hybrid system when it needed to be. But I thought it helped the players. It helped them press higher, give us a starting higher position at times. And yeah, it comes with nervous moments. It comes with having to adapt to different things, like playing from the back and trying to break their press and things like that. But again, it shows that these aren't terrible footballers. These are players who needed a little bit more encouragement. They needed deprogramming in many ways. So yeah, because the energy was already in the ground, I think that brings that kind of level of energy that has been missing in so many games this season. So it was just so important that the players then took that and hit Tottenham quite early, which is what we did.
It was interesting, the formation, because obviously it flitted between 3 at the back and O'Brien as a genuine right back, didn't it? And thought, like, talking about him, he's someone who we haven't seen in the Premier League. It was his Premier League debut, full debut as such. And I thought he was really comfortable in possession. It's something David Moyes has spoken about after, saying they were looking at a way to get him in. And Moyes said we wanted to get him in because he'd help build attacks, which I thought was a really interesting comment. And I thought he did really well, considering, he's not started the game in the Premier League for us. He's come on at Aston Villa. He came on at Man United when we were getting battered, didn't he? David Moyes brought him on the other night, didn't he, against Villa. But in general, you know, it was a real solid debut from a full debut from him, I thought.
Yeah, it was the first thing I noticed is how comfortable he was in possession. I'll be honest, it never crossed my mind once that he'd be playing right back. You know, it's not crossed my mind once, as him being an Everton player, that he would be playing right back.
But we saw this with Moyes with Lescott, didn't we? People like that, he did. He used him as a fullback.
But it never crossed my mind, you know, because you've got Patterson there, and we've got like 4 right backs this season. I've often said to people, you think playing right back is the easiest position anyone can play in football. You just need a brain and a decent touch. So it's not like literally if you're right-footed you can play right back. But obviously the pressures and demands of the Premier League and having to do dual jobs and having to go obviously at that kind of level, it's just adding on to it. Anyone can fill in there, but it's playing there and satisfying the needs of modern football. And I thought he did that really, really well, because you don't necessarily see defenders of his type, or you don't think, or what you think his type is getting forward, and at times he's on the edge of the box looking to put crosses into the box and things like that. So again, it's that thing of like fresh eyes coming in, and within a couple of days thinking, how can we get this lad into a team? And sometimes I suppose that you have to do that. You might have quality players sitting there and there's no room for them, so you have to come up with ways of getting more quality into your team. And if you have to make a decision like that, you make a decision like that.
I think it got us up the pitch. Obviously Lindstrom was high, and I thought we started the game really brightly. We put them under pressure. We were pressing high, and they kicked the ball out a couple of times just simply by putting them under pressure. We know they're a good footballing team, and we know they've got real threats in the final third with Son, and you know, Maddison, when he's on it, is a threat if you give him space outside the box. The other stuff he does isn't great, but if you give him a pocket of space outside the box, he can hurt you. Kulusevski, I think's fantastic. He's always a threat. So we had to be wary of what they were doing. And obviously with Porro and Jed Spence, they were getting forward. I really like Bergwall in midfield. I thought he had a cracking game for such a young lad. But we made it really uncomfortable, and because the players were pressing with that energy, I think the fans just fed off it, and therefore it did sort of take me back to Moyes' first spell, that most home games were like that, where Everton would be all over the opposition. Sometimes it didn't work and they were better than us, but a lot of times it was why Goodison became Fortress Goodison, but Goodison became a difficult place to play football under David Moyes. And I was saying this to Zach after the game, he was going home, because he was like, I haven't seen us like that at home for ages. And I was like, well, that really was a home game under David Moyes. And it was great to see that back. And I think once that engaged the crowd, the players fed off that energy, and we'd had a couple of really good moves, and then we go and get the goal quite early on. And it was a really good goal born out of that again, wasn't it? And we've got the stills if we just have a look at the first goal here when James is ready. Here we go. So there I've got Idrissa, who has obviously gone and charged into Papa Matasari, who gives the ball away because of that pressure. I mean, look how many players are there already in that, and this is from Spurs passing out. Idrissa puts the pressure on, he hits a ball into the middle. Lindstrom gets there before James Maddison, and he's just going to knock this square to Mangala, who does a fantastic little dummy on Papa Sarr, and it frees up Idrissa, who will take the ball. Garner takes it, and then Calvert-Lewin's pulled into that pocket between Gray and Dragerson. Now, Garner, can he feed that into there? He does. Got Dom circled there. Garner plays it in. And Dom, you're thinking, is he going to bend it? But he doesn't. He goes to shoot, stops, turns back, and then before you know it, he's got a shot, and you can see Kinski's done by the eyes and hitting it back beyond them. And really, really good footwork by Dom. Similar to a goalie, a little bit similar to the Roma goal at Goodison early in the season, when he come back inside and give the keeper the eyes. But he took it brilliantly. But just that little pocket there showing that these players can actually play football.
Yeah, we've said it all along, haven't we? They can, if you set them up to play football, working on patterns of play, having a little bit of intensity. They are all good footballers. You don't get to this level by accident. You have to hone it though, don't you? You have to hone what you've got into something. And I thought, that goal was a really good illustration of what we did well in the first half, which is get in people's faces and then just do the little subtle things. Like the pass by Garner is fantastic. It's just a subtle little pass into where Dom wants it. And then once Dom's into the box, it's up to him then to figure out what he's going to do. And, it's almost like Dom does the hard thing easier than he does the easy thing. And maybe that is part of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of part of his makeup is, you can't really explain it with footballers, but he took the goal ever so well, and it's exactly what he needed and exactly what we needed, because it took, his first goal under David Moyes, it took the pressure off everyone, because we haven't scored for so long in the Premier League, and Dom not scoring goals being a big thing as well. A goal from open play as well. All those little things that have been missing. So checkbox. It just freed everything up. I think.
Brilliant. I mean, the noise was fantastic, and one of the things was, there's no way they can rule us out, I don't think.
Although really they did
sort of a wait. I was thinking,
there's a Lindstrom. They said there was a handball.
Yeah. When they looked, they were like, But that was a great start, and obviously we fed off that then, didn't we? And Kinski makes a brilliant save from Mangala, pushes it onto the post. A really good save. Dom does well, gets it to him, and he just whips it round the corner. It's a really good hand from him, and keeps him out, and then Lindstrom keeps it alive, puts it back in, and Dom heads it either side of him, and it's a goal. And it just goes straight at him. But we had also, Lindstrom had started brightly. We had that shot after 3 minutes from Lindstrom, which the keeper makes a good save from as well. And it was all of that. Spurs looked a little bit shell-shocked. But the first break they got in, and it was a straight ball. Kulusevski gets in, Garner's on the stretch and can't get there. Cuts it back, and I must admit, when he rolled it and I seen Son on his own on the penalty spot, I did fear the worst. But luckily he placed it, and Pickford read it brilliantly and made a good save. And after that, there was one more where another straight ball, Tarkowski made a fantastic recovery challenge on Son, didn't he? Who then tried to get a penalty by throwing himself on the floor. But then we went forward again, and the second goal, my opinion, the second goal puts to bed all of that thing that these aren't good footballers. Not saying the top level, I'm not saying they should be in Europe and all that, but we've said all season they are better than they're being shown, because they're being shown sit in and defend. The messaging that you hear from the players now, Lindstrom in his interview afterwards is more, we were more defensive, now we're going forward. You can see it, and the second goal's a perfect example of that. We're knocking it round the back, keeping possession, no one's panicking. And then we work it to Jarrett Branthwaite, and we've got the stills again from that, so James will put them on for us for the second goal. We work it to Branthwaite, we've got Njai circled, here he comes short, and Garner's pulling himself into that role. Branthwaite plays it in, and Njai just plays a lovely little weighted pass into Garner, and then goes, and Garner's just got to thread it back into that pocket of space, which he does, plays it in, and Illiman is away, and off he goes with the ball, travels right up to the edge of their box. Now he's got an option. Is he going to cut inside and try to guide it, or will he do something and go on the outside? He does a good little step over, takes Dragerson on the outside. It's now, can he get the shot away? Pushes it in, and then the left foot lifts it over Kinski and into the roof of the net. And it was a fantastically worked goal, and that just, for him to score it at the street end, definitely one they couldn't disallow. And that just lifted the place, didn't it? Lifted the roof off the place, really.
Yeah, it was, again, lovely little weighted ball by Adisagana Gay.
2 assists.
Just pushing it in front of him and then saying, and again, 2-footed players, this is what they can offer you. He runs with the ball, he's so strong. The defender tries to push him off the ball as well. And again, he's in the box. What are you going to do when he's in the box? We talked loads about him having the ball and the runs and where they start from. Okay, he starts on really deep and he's running at their back four, but once he gets into the box with the little lollipop, what are they going to do? And his finish is brilliant, but again, it's so important, 2-footed players. Other players there, after we were just right-footed, after just trying to curl one in, left-footed players have to go left, but they haven't had the little trick to put the defender off balance. And it's brilliant, and the finish is superb. And again, it's a lovely little goal, well made. Probably one, if not the best goal of the season, is in the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's give us exactly what we deserved at that moment, because I think there was a Dom chance as well in there, wasn't there? The ball over the top from Branthwaite, where it bangs off his left knee, when all he's got to do is take it down, and he's in on goal, and he's going to get his second goal if he. But it comes off his knee, and you just think, is that going to, those moments going to cost us again? Not finishing opportunity, because it's bad enough not having opportunities. It's when you have opportunities and you spare, and that's when it becomes even worse.
Well, we'd also had Kinski'd made another good save, and Tarkowski off the free kick, a little jackknife header, and he's pushed it away.
And the other thing, we looked on set pieces, we actually looked like we had a clue.
We had Lindstrom taken.
Yeah, and nobody's took other ones, and it's like
confidence, isn't it?
It's just
God, wait till Charlie Adam gets in with his book. That was 2-0. You're right, we could have been 3 or 4 at that stage, and you are thinking, can we get another one? They were just shell shocked. I mean, they couldn't get going. They were second to everything. We were on them. The press was fantastic. Goodison was electric, and we go and get the third goal. And we're in dreamland, and it was, we recycle a ball, because it's a couple of times it can go in, and Lindstrom just whacks a high cross, and we've stayed up from the corner. I think it was a corner, wasn't it? We stayed up, and Tarkowski does brilliant. When he's at that back post, you're confident he's going to win every header, aren't you? Heads it across, a little flick from Branthwaite and little flick from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Artie Gray's unfortunate. O'Brien's behind him and might turn it in. I don't know, but Gray reacts and it hits him and goes in for 3-0. And
well, what I liked about that goal actually was there'd been a really long stoppage, because their centre half had been copped one from Dom, hadn't he? And I think there was blood and everything, and I think he ended up with stitches. But there was like a really long delay, and he added on the time, and then the time didn't get added on till he actually got up. So it was but we kept playing. We kept playing. Like, there wasn't like, no, just see this out with 2-0 up. We kept on playing, trying.
It was almost like we smelled blood, and we just kept going.
It was all over the centre back.
Yeah. But we've had that to us. When you're in a spin and you're going, we need the half,
exactly,
we need the half.
And their defenders injured and stuff, and you're thinking, go for them, and go make sure. And what I liked as well was that, he's put the cross in really deep. It's a really good cross. And Tarky's pulled it back, and it's ended up at the back of the net one way or another. And they're the moments that we haven't capitalised this season, of like, there's an opportunity there, So many times in that position, can I get a cross? Oh, I don't know. So I'll go back, and then it'll end up being with the centre back, and then probably end up with the goalie. And we're just seeing this half out lads anyway. And it's that kind of attitude where I just thought, we just like, no, go for them, get it while it's, because they're going to come out second half. They have to have a rethink anyway. So while the going's good, keep going. And
well, that's what he did, didn't he? He squeezed it. I mean, does do my head. I was like moaned on me Matt's reaction. That Michalenko did really well yesterday. He was high up the pitch, but when we get a throw in, why is he throwing it 40 yards back into our half? And it ends up Garner.
Said this on day 2 when we played Spurs, and goals were coming from going backwards.
It's Richard did the same, throwing, and it's like with 20 yards and I picked it up and threw it right back, and it's like, that's not restarting, boys. We had them a couple of times. They just hooked the ball out to play, because they were panicking, and we take the pressure off, and hopefully that's something we do better. But we did sort of smell blood, and we went after it, and that was what was really good. Went in at half time 3-0, and it was like, wow. This is dreamland, isn't it? And you knew there was going to be a reaction from them, because there has to be. In your mind, you're thinking, it could be 6 this, but it's, can you get up to that level? They came out and they were the better side for the opening 10 minutes without really. They had one chance with Maddison, edge of the box, and he's tried to put too much on it. He's whipped it over, but then we'd sort of ridden that out. We had a jackknife header from Don that flashed just wide off a free kick. Then we had the one where, again, our pressing, the keepers tried to dink it out, and Lindstrom gets there first and rolls it into Dom, and on Wednesday blazed it over. This time he stopped it and spun and tried to curl it in. It just went wide. We then had a lovely cracking move that ended up with the ball square, pulled back to the edge of the box from Michalenko, and he blazed it over. And we were in that mode of, this fourth goal's coming. But then we did sort of hit a brick wall. We looked like we ran out of legs because we put so much in it. They moved the ball well. They brought Richie on at half time. They moved the ball around well, but we did look like we tired, didn't we?
They had 4 forwards on, didn't he? You know, in terms of like 4 players. Yeah. And they're just going for it, and we just dropped off. And you have to look at like the XG for both halves. It's like the second half is like what we typically have, what we've had. Sorry, whereas the first, and we got through the first 10 minutes, and we needed to get a goal in almost like the next 10 minutes. Once they're like gone, their heads have gone a little bit.
Goal,
but we didn't, and obviously the Dom opportunities. I don't know, maybe on a different day. If last week, if Wednesday night hadn't happened, he takes that first time and he bursts the net and it's 4-0.
Because he could have just hit it first time.
But he might be thinking, I can take a touch and spin. But once he's spun, he can't see the goal, and everything has to be perfect from then on. And then the tiredness starts creeping in, and you can tell. And also, I felt, and this is not, but the crowd start getting edgier. And I felt like the crowd was, every time we give the ball away, it was like, it wasn't like moans and groans, it was just like, right, you know, because you're so nervous, you want the win, you know what the win means in so many different reasons, and also you're 3-0 up, so it's like, if we lose this lead, you know, when are we ever going to win a game, and what does that do mentally to players? So you can feel it, and then the players, you can see what the players, it was a mixture of being too cocky on the ball at times and trying to be, and this didn't happen loads, but being like overly like, oh, you scored, no, you scored. Now, it didn't happen loads, but I could see a couple of moments where it was like, no, just lads, keep the ball.
Just keep it.
You don't need to go for it every single time. Just keep it. And then it started being giving the ball away. So it went from one to another really, really quickly.
But this happened with Bournemouth. I remember in the Bournemouth game, we'd had a couple at 2-0. And then remember Seamus going through, and it was on his own, he blazed it over and he should have scored. It would have gone 3-0, and it's like, oh, and then Jai had one and everyone's like, oh, isn't this great? But it does take one goal to just sort of, and then you're panicking. Right now we've all got a bit of a shell shock, haven't we? And we know what's happened before. We've seen it earlier in the season, and you're right, that what the win means. David Moyes, can he get his first win? We haven't won for a while. We scored goals. We're so far in front in this game. Don't let anything slip. But the tiredness it was like someone just went like that. It happened in the Bournemouth game. I think Everton were far better in this game than I've said before. The Bournemouth games, when you watch it back, the first half quite even, the second 25 Everton are brilliant, and then someone puts the pin in the balloon with the energy, but it was a hot day. This was sort of 65 minutes of putting everything into it, and then the energy started sapping. We saw Lindstrom, he was up the pitch by the Gladys seat and there was loads of room to put in. He stopped and turned and passed it back, and he was like jogging back, and then he got the ball in a square pass, he gave it away and they broke, and his leg, and David Moyes sort of just went, right, get him off because he looks tired. Put Ashley Young on, and he just didn't get into it.
But the intentions are not the same, The intentions are not the same, and people can go, and I've seen like people saying, oh, typical Moyes putting defensive players on. Well, yeah, he could have put Harrison on there, you can see that, but it's like that, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Not on the right, though.
No, what I'm saying is it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's, you put Harrison on, but he doesn't press. So if he isn't pressing, then he's defending. But is Ashley Young a better defender? And so it's almost like that double thing. So he's gone, I'll put him on. But Young just didn't press while he was there. And it wasn't long till he went on to the other side. But he didn't press there. So immediately you're giving up one player for another in terms of the pressing, which was a massive. And the one thing which was really impressive about this was everyone pressed. There was none of that nonsense of Dwight McNeil running around trying to press every single position and getting standard. I'll never get that. That's not how you press. It's not how you press. It was every player, go. You've gone, right, you forced them there, you go. You forced them there, you go. And then one Lindstrom on, it was like dominoes. They all just fell down one by one. He gets replaced. And then the Corey's really struggling. Because the Corey, for as much, you know, people can say what he did on the ball, but off the ball, his pressing I thought was really, really good. I was going to say it was really impressive, but I understood I was going from pressing to impressive.
That's all right.
He pressed really well and really high, and he forced the next one. So it'd be Dom, and then it'd be Decore, and then it'd be Lindstrom, and we forced them. And once, as I said, Ashley Young stops doing it, then Decore stops doing it. And then when we do get the ball, we're giving the ball away cheaply. They're bringing on fresh legs in positions that could hurt us.
Yeah.
And it only, you know, that's all it was. It was just like, that's why the squad needs to be improved. Obviously, whether it's getting players back, the manager assessing who can play where and what's going to help in those different roles. Because it wasn't just the subs he brought on, it was almost like the order of them he brought them on as well. It was like maybe he should have done a double sub and brought on Ashley Young and Patterson at the same time, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It was like that'll be something for him to figure out, and certainly not having a goal for him for that. Because it was like either the Bournemouth game, there's no subs. Certainly you took a player off to give him basically applause when he wasn't doing anything wrong, and yet you left players on who were absolutely knackered. This was like, we need fresh legs, because these have brought fresh legs. But it's just incremental things, as I said. We start to give them the ball away, and then certainly for their first goal, Branthwaite gets pulled out again like he did on Wednesday night, and then that exposes Tarky's pace. So it's like, why is he being pulled out into that position? It's because someone's knackered over here who can't get into that, fill that role there. So on Wednesday night, it's Decore not knocking the ball out, and it is just that knock-on effect of one.
Ironically, it's Decore.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Give the ball away.
It's that thing of like, one player gets caught out, and then there's a knock-on effect, and then Branthwaite gets dragged out of position, doesn't win the header, and he would have been better just leaving it and staying in his position. And then Tarky's isolated, and the same as on Wednesday night, they've isolated Tarky on his own. This is slightly different because it's the crossover.
It's a lovely pass, though.
No, it is.
It's a well-weighted
pass. But Branthwaite gets that, though.
Well, maybe. But Pickford comes for it, doesn't get near it, tries to put a slide tackle in, and then doesn't get back to his line quick enough. And Mikey Moore, I think it is, has a shot which Mangala blocks. And Kulusevski, it's a brilliant finish. I think it might nick off. I don't know if it nicks off Branthwaite, but it's a brilliant finish. Yeah. And it was clean. O'Brien should have edited it. It was clear. And it's the back in the game. Well, they're not back in the game, but it's that moment.
It's the back in the game.
That's what I mean, where you think, oh no, these are because there was still sort of 20 minutes left or whatever. And the nerves coming, and you get another free kick straight away, and the load in the box, and you're like, oh my God, we were just in control. What's happening? And the manager then made another sub, didn't he? Put Patterson on, and then I don't understand, but he put Michael Keane on him. I know Brian was tired, so maybe I do understand, but I don't know why he put Keane on, because Keane come on first.
He done a double whistle.
The first thing he did was give the ball away. The second thing he did was get nutmegged under me. And then he was all over the place. He just didn't get up to speed, did he?
It was just like there was no time for anyone to catch their breath. No. Because, and as I said, that comes down to just wanting to get fresh legs on the pitch, and I understand that in a way. And again, these are all learning. In a week's time, or in 2 weeks' time, you can put a James Garner on for Decore, and you can leave your back line. Because the midfield was so tired that it was just coming on our defence, and our defence.
All the time.
So you want to buy a little bit of time. That's what I'm saying. We're giving the ball away cheap. We're not buying anyone any time, because we're not keeping the ball. It's all on breaks, and then we're giving it away cheaply because you're not. At the first half, you got numbers, so you're passing, you're keeping the ball, you're taking the momentum. Second half, it's all on the break, and you're giving it away cheaply, or you're finishing off with a shot that goes wide, or whatever it is. And it just wasn't giving anyone a break. No one got any time to settle. They've got loads of players on. They're not bothered. They're just taking chances. And then, but then for the next 15 minutes, we were fine.
Yeah, I was going to say,
rode it out.
We were all right. I was then thinking we might actually get a fourth. Yeah, because they had the little flurry. I thought Mikey Morford then, to be fair, came on. He looked really lively. He was really good for them. But we did sort of see that danger out, and we were just going through. Like, can we get a fourth? And all of that, and I thought, and I think this is where the crowd, we'll have to thingy as well, is that we were trying to keep the ball, and people because obviously nerves come in, and you want the ball to be the other end of the pitch, because there was one where we were playing them and drawing them in. It was a little bit, you were going a little bit, but we working it and then moving it out to the wing and breaking, so they were trying to play more football. I think most of us have been used to 2 years of just launching it, and they were trying to play it. But you're right, we sort of we'd sort of gone past any danger point, and it's like you're doing that thing in your mind, get through the next 5 minutes, and we got into the 90th minute, and we give the ball away again cheaply, sloppy pass, and it ends up with them getting a corner because we give the ball.
But before that, we'd had the ball on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Patterson played that lovely ball, and the Corey's in the corner, and I'm just saying, stay there. And he plays this cross into the box.
Yeah, it was a terrible ball.
It was dead high, so the goalie's going to catch it.
It had to go low.
But you just thinking,
or just wait.
Just turn round and bring Patterson into it and hold on to it.
Can
in
we talk
corner.
about when we played the ball into the Corey and he played it against Archie Gray's shins and it went out for a corner and the ref gave a goal kick?
Yeah, that happened.
But no, you're right, because I was fuming at people going, go cross that, and I'm like...
No, you're 3-1 up and it's in the last minute and you're thinking, it's not even about winning a corner as such, it's killing momentum. We give the ball to their goalkeeper, their goalie's like, what? It's gone, forward. And you've got 3 or 4 players.
Done it. You're right, he done it. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Because we broke. So what the Corey, for me, has to do is 2 things. The one thing you did do was not what you do. Yeah. You'd either fire it in low, where the defender has to deal with it, or you go long to the back post, you take the keeper out, and if it runs out, it runs out. He gave it to the goalie. He bowled it out quickly, and we did. They had, all of a sudden, they were on that, and we had 4, trying to get back, who were knackered.
But it's those moments, because there's been one on the other side where Ashley Young had worked so hard to make sure the ball didn't go for a goal kick. He worked so hard. And I think we got the throw, and the Corey gave them the ball back from the throw as well.
Away,
But I know he was knackered, and I'm not having a go at him. He shouldn't have been on the pitch the last 20 minutes. I just don't think the only option was Harrison Armstrong, and Moyes is never going to... I don't care if it's new, old, new formula, it ain't going to matter. He ain't bringing Harrison Armstrong in that position. And he ain't going to trust Jack Harrison in. All the Harrisons are out. They're all no, for this particular game.
I think just right now, while he's getting to grips, so he's got to put.
But you just think Ashley Young's just come on, used his brain, stopped it being a goal kick. One was a throw in,
them down
and even if it's their throwing, box them in.
They all box them in.
All the Corey had to do was turn round, go to the corner. You're a big lad.
I know.
Make the bullshit or bring Patterson into the game and then isolate as 2, and then all that says to everyone else is stay there. Yeah. Stay there.
It is decision making.
But it goes first.
And the information will be given into him.
And immediately they get the ball down the pitch.
But he broke and got a corner, didn't he? And again, we didn't get out quick enough to block before they got the corner. But we're giving them space because people are knackered and they're in the ascendancy. They get the corner. And this should have been dealt with comfortably, and it isn't. And the manager will be looking at this as well. Let's have a look at what we could have done better. The 3 of them run over to a corner, and the crowd are screaming at our players because everyone was looking the other way. Yeah, as if what's happening? Oh God, they're going to take it, so they take it quick. Ashley Young just keep taking it back 1 for us. Sorry, Jay. Ashley Young does the false press. Yeah, he sort of jogs out towards Mikey Moore. Instead of, if he goes out and got the arrow, if he takes another couple of steps forward, Mikey Moore can't see where the cross is, so it's a blind cross, but he doesn't. He slams on there. Moore, we've got Keane and Richarlison circled on the corner of the 6-yard box. Moore throws it in. Ball's coming in.
Oh, that line, that's a really good line, that as well.
That's not bad. They've only got...
Well, look, they've got 2 players in there.
3 it is. There's 2 by Richarlison. One next to Richarlison. We've got 3. And we've got enough, so we know Tarkovsky can deal with most of it. Michael Keane's got 1 job there, but Charlison's on his shoulder. He's looked at him, he looks at him a couple of times, in it comes. Now you can see that Charlison now has just pulled away. Right, he's pulled behind Keane, but Keane should really just be concentrating on the Charlison. We go on again, and look at this. Keane's still where he is, and the Charlison's on his own. And then Pickford's having to dive for a curling cross, and Richie gets there first, and it ends up in the net. And Michael Keane is still in the same position.
I know people have asked question marks at Pickford, but I think where Richarlison volleys it in from or hits it from is so low
inside the post
that I don't think Pickford could have come anywhere to got, because it's so low that I'm not sure. But Michael Keane should be.
If Michael Keane literally just blocks Richarlison's run off, that curls out.
He doesn't see him, does he?
And the Pickford either gathers it or it goes out for a goal kick because the Richarlison's coming from the outside.
He just doesn't see him.
What's weird? Nobody's got 1 job.
I know.
You just marked them, man.
I know.
That's all. Because we'd had one at 3-0, I think it was, on the other side, and it bent in, got curled in. This wasn't Keane, come in, and Pickford comes and is like in no man's land, and a ball bounces past the far post, and you're like, just deal with the man.
What was mad was, it was like, it all happened in slow motion, and like, they didn't seem to celebrate
No,
it.
I didn't know.
So everyone was like, did that really go in? Has that really happened?
It happened.
It happened.
And then obviously there's still 90 seconds left and you're going, oh my God, and they got the ball forward
We
again.
just kicked it back to them.
Give it back to them, and then they got a cross which deflected up in the air and Pickford.
Nobody got across him first, which was going in exactly the same place, but actually Young dealt with this one and won it, and then they got the shot and that
block. And when he caught it, you're like, oh my God, thank you. And then the referee carries on, and it needs a brilliant tackle by Patterson below me, and then Dom does brilliantly, just nudges it and lets himself get taken, and the referee has seen Tarky like that to the ref, and the ref's like, once you've kicked it. So I'm thinking, screaming to Tarkovsky, kick it into the corner by the Gladys seat down there, and he goes for some crossfield thing, slips, and the ball goes flat, and I'm going, no. And then the referee obviously blows the whistle, and the relief is unbelievable. But you're thinking, because I said to you before, for the first time ever, I thought, with a minute left, I might have to go and walk up and down the concourse, because I don't know if I can sit here and see them equalise after a game. If it was a ding-dong, you felt like they're always in it. It's different, but they were so far gone that the thought of not winning.
If we'd got a fourth, it could have been 5 or 6.
Oh, easily. If Calvert-Lewin's one curls in, their momentum's gone.
And on another day, hopefully down the track, that's what happens. But just for this game, for this, it was just that hurdle that we had to get over. And as I said, I think we came out second half, and we were just a bit like, what do we do? What do we stick or do we twist?
He said though afterwards, the message was get the 4th goal.
No, but with players sometimes they're a little bit, that's where the brain.
You got to believe though, and I think you're always, when the first half is so one-sided like it was, and you're so much in the ascendancy, it is difficult to match that. How many times you see where you go, bloody hell, they're winning 5-0, that's going to be 9, and it ends 5-0, because your levels drop a little bit, because you think, what do we, we've won this if we can't, and they've got to have a reaction. But I thought, for 70 minutes, I thought it was brilliant. The best Everton have played for years, in my opinion. It was though, in terms of pressing and all of that. Hopefully there'll be better football to come and things like that. But I just meant for everybody doing the same job. We've had really good defensive performances. We've had ones where we've had to roll our sleeves up and scrap and battle, of course we have. And, we remember Dyche's first game against Arsenal. That was a different. They just dug in and everyone was brilliant, and then we win the game off a set piece. But this had good football, goals, could have had a lot more. Great saves from their keeper who kept the score down. Just the last 20 will be something that obviously the manager will have learned. He said it in his press conference afterwards. It's great doing it for 45 minutes. We've got to do it for 90. That pressing and that work rate. So, some players who we thought had a really, really good impact at the weekend was Jesper Lindström was one. Let's have a look at his stats on the game. Chances created 4, which was the most. Crosses 11, which was the most. Tackles 4, which was the most. And interceptions 2. I think which might have been the joint most. And he had a 90% passing accuracy, and you can see him up and down that right-hand side. I think comfortably this was Jesper Lindström's best performance.
Easily his best performance, and he looked like a footballer for once, didn't he? Looked like a footballer who was being asked to do an attacking job, not a defensive job. But what's weird is that actually some of those, let me say, qualities that he may have picked up under Dyche have sort of helped this performance as well, because he's prepared to work hard. He understands the Premier League now. He's had to go through the Andy Dufresne route of getting there, but he understands how hard you have to work to be able to do the attacking side of things, and I think that was prevalent in this game. So let's hope that continues.
Well, this is a player who David Moyes liked, the Frankfurt. West Ham had actually tried to sign him at Bromby, watched him at Frankfurt, was interested in him then. Liverpool were interested in him, things like that. Clearly in a different role. He was an attacking midfielder there. So he's obviously got the confidence of that. The manager likes him. But you're right, some of that grounding will have been done under Sean Dyche, so that will have helped him, that having to do the other bit of the game as well. Another player who I thought was brilliant at the weekend was Idrissa Gana Gueye. He was everywhere. Let's have a look at this. There you go, there's his heat map everywhere. 2 assists for Idrissa, 95% passing accuracy, won 66% of his tackles, 8 ball recoveries, and his ground duels 6 out of 6.
Can you just said 2 out of 3 tackles?
I could have, but I wanted the percentage, Sounded better.
Did it though?
I don't know, but I've tried it.
2/3.
2/3. I like people go, but that didn't say that. See, I'm making them think. But he was excellent again, wasn't he? And he's what a fantastic footballer he is. But we do need someone who can come on and sort of help him or take him off and give him a rest, and because he puts so much work in. But showed the other side of his game with the ball through to Calvert-Lewin, and obviously the ball into space for Njay.
It's brilliant. It's just brilliant, money. He's just a really good footballer who knows how to play in the Premier League. Who uses all that experience.
Work rate, fantastic.
Keeps it nice and simple. I know people will at times question some parts of his game, but those questions cannot be loud enough that he's not in the team, because that would be madness.
And then finally, player who I give man of the match, because I thought yesterday he was brilliant. I thought the first half against Villa, he was very good. I thought the second half against Villa, he dropped off and apart from blazing a chance over the bar. But I thought yesterday was a full, all-round, complete Dominic Calvert-Lewin performance. Let's have a look at his stats. There's his heat map there. He's everywhere, as you can see. 1 goal from an XG of 0.9. He had 5 shots, 10 touches in the opposition box, which is a lot, and 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. Held the ball up fantastically well for me. Won a lot of stuff in the air. Just loads of good running, positive running, and was brilliant. He looked tired near the end, and I was thinking, did he put Beto on to knock their centre-backs about? Maybe that was an option, but he was brilliant, and for me, he thoroughly deserved the man of the match.
No, he was superb, and there's obviously a playing in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And do you know what? I've seen some stats last week about Dom, and they were a little bit mad. Like, in terms of like runs and stuff, he's one of the highest in the Premier League. But for in the box stuff, it's like non-existent. It's one of the lowest. So the work rate's there. He's been doing the job asked of him.
Yeah, but he's looked.
But the job is not the job he's supposed to do.
He looks more engaged than the last 2 games.
Because he's been playing for a manager who tells people to stay 20 yards away from him.
There was one in the second half where it got, I think it might have been O'Brien, knocked it up, and he jumped and just flicked it in the corner. He went after it, and it was like, that's what we're saying. Get bodies around.
I don't know about you, like, but you know, when you're a kid and you like sort of factor out what you're good at or what you want to be good at when you play football, you never factor that you want to be a centre forward because you want to defend. You do it to score goals. You do it because you've got a good skill set, and you do it because there's a little bit of ego there, and you want to be that person who puts the ball in the back of the net and stuff. So when you're asked to do a job that is just makes what you're good at completely redundant to do another job, you're gonna go and do your job like someone who works in a factory. You're there, you earn your money, and you don't do the extras. You just do what you're supposed to do, and you go home.
Well, is it any surprise really that we look at? I said to you the other day, didn't I, and to John and that in here, is that like, when I've said these players are better than they're showing, and some people take umbrage with it because they'll look at the numbers, which is fine, but I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm saying the qualities that these people have is better than what they're actually doing. What I mean by that is, in a normal team where you actually go forward, I would expect Dominic Calvert-Lewin to at least have double the goals he's got right now. He's got 3 in the Premier League now. I'd expect him to have 6 or 7. Lindstrom, I'd expected him to score a goal by being in the box. And Jai, he's doing with our top scorer, so he's doing okay. Jack Harrison, I would expect, if it's all about attack or a lot of it's attack, he would score a couple of goals. It mightn't be loads. When you add all these up together, our goals will be higher. We would have won more points, and that's my point. But it's no surprise when you look through our players that none of them have got any good numbers, because none of the emphasis was on attacking. Just as it's no surprise that a lot of our defensive numbers are very good, because the emphasis is on defence.
And the whole team
now,
defence.
What David Moyes will have to do will be find a balance somewhere between the two, and that's what he's looking. But the 2 home games, I've been really encouraged, because we have been on the front foot. We're not a great team. We know that. We wouldn't be where we are if we were. But I don't think we're as bad as what the league shows when we play to our ability. Now, people might go, well, might be the same thing, but it's not, because if Everton tried everything and we're always on the front foot and we're down there, you might go, these players really probably haven't got it, but they've all done it at other clubs, and some of them have done it at our club.
Yeah.
So if we were a little bit more expansive, Calvert-Lewin he's just had 5 shots there. He probably didn't have 5 shots in the last 5 games he played for Sean Dyche.
The team did.
And he had 8, I think. He had 3 on. He had 4 against Villa, or 3. So we will have had sort of almost double figure shots, won't he, in the last couple of games?
Sean Dyche's last 2 games, we conceded 3 goals. David Moyes' first 2 games, we've conceded 3 goals.
Yeah.
The difference is we've got 3 points out of that. We got no points out of the
Sean Dyche's last 6, we scored 1 goal.
That's the difference right there. There's no point being good defensively if you concede 1 goal and that goal costs you the game.
Kills you there.
There's just no point. That's what, you know, I think personally for me yesterday defensively we took risks, but they're the same risks you see every team take in the Premier League. You have to take risks to score goals, and that starts all over the pitch. Fullbacks being higher, playing through the lines, whatever it is. The difference is for a lot of teams, I think a lot of teams between around where we are and like 10th, is that the teams above them have players they can bring on in the last 20 minutes, the last half an hour, who aren't game changers. They're just people to keep the game consistent and don't drop your levels. That's where we're That's where we're sure. That's the thing, is working out. And that might be the manager going, do you know what? I figured out that Jack Harrison can play left back or left wing back. So for the last 20 minutes,
we're going to do that. We
can go 3 at the back and have Jack playing left wing back or something.
We do, because we do need Chimity fit. We need Garner fit. We need Erabunum fit, don't we? Seamus Coleman. Just because the bodies, we need them. Good quality. You know, they're not amazing, of course, but they're a decent level. They're able to get in and get about the pitch. Maybe not Seamus as much, but the other 2, the young lads, and both showed the promising signs. Can we supplement that with 2 or 3 signings we need this window? That's the challenge, isn't it? And then the manager will have. He'll be able to look at his bench and go, actually, we're going to use you, and you. Because right now, he had to make subs yesterday because the tiredness were there. Did he make great subs? No. Because it didn't work out like that. Look, Patterson done all right. Young and Keane didn't really work. Although Young, when he went on the left, was a little bit better. But, Michael Keane one didn't really work. But he is also learning the players, isn't he? He's been here less than a week, as in what he'd had with the players and stuff. So he's not going to know probably for a month what is what with this squad. Well, what signs they've had. But hopefully these signs that we're seeing will drag Everton up to a level of performance where we know we're not going to win every game, of course, but it'll give us a chance in games where instead of just being petrified of the opposition all the time, we're in a thing where the opposition have to think, actually, we've got to be careful because these can hurt us. Because when there's no jeopardy, it's just easy for the opposition. It's like us with the Peterborough game. Do you ever think at any time they were going to score a goal? Because I never. And therefore, it was just a case of they didn't have to worry. So we had a lot of people forward. Okay, we could have used the ball better and done all that. But it's like that in the Premier League for a lot of teams. They know where the only hope we'd had for months was corners and free kicks, where now, if you think, well, hang on, these have got a few threats, it means they have to play a little bit further back, which takes a bit of pressure off the defence. So hopefully, listen, it's one game and it was really good yesterday, but there's still loads of work to be done, of course there is, but the positive
but at no time yesterday, defensively or offensively, did we go back into anything that we saw under Dyche. We never went long.
No. Only when it was a good ball.
We went long and the flick and there was a player off him, but we never went long as in don't hold onto the ball and then hold it up so everyone else. And we never, he could have easily gone last 20 minutes just go into a low block, and he never did that either, because like you said, he was probably like, no, we can get goals here. These will go up the pitch, we're good enough, and we'll break and get another goal here. So,
and with some better decisions, we He could have.
Yeah.
He did the Corey one, especially. Like you said, he could have either gone the corner flag or just carried on going in the box with the ball and had a better pass or whatever. But then decision making will obviously come. Let's have a look at the final stats from the game anyway. There we go. Everton 3, Tottenham 2. 12 shots for the Blues, 11 for Tottenham. Both had 6 on target. Everton's XG 1.95, Spurs 1.12. 35% possession in that sweet spot almost.
Those stats make it look like it was
closer.
It was yeah.
I mean, that XG markers on the other one, I'd seen 2.32 for Everton and 1.2 for Spurs. More like but it's irrelevant, isn't it? The XG tells you Everton should have won the game, and they did. So there you go. Massive win for Everton. Huge win. That's all that matters. 3 points, and can we get the performance levels going up and increasing, and can we get some players in? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Did you enjoy it? Goodison was bouncing again yesterday. Felt good. Felt like good, proper Goodison Park yesterday for large parts of the game. What do you want to see coming? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you want to become a Toffee TV Premier member, where we are carrying on live right now. This is live right now on Premier. Then the link is in the description. The QR code's on the screen now. See you later.